Origin Jazz Home Studio Reaction. This is The Mystery of the Smiley Face Killer featuring Lore Lodge and the Electrician. Unsubscribed clips, unsubscribed podcast. Yes, another unsubscribed podcast clips. Lore Lodge, I'm pretty sure I watched Killdozer clip from this channel from him. So I'm guessing this is also like one of his videos that he made and he's talking about here. Yeah, the Smiley Face Killer. I think I've heard about this, like, I don't know, somewhere. It's like one of the famous things, but I don't think I ever watched a video or something like that. So this is going to be interesting. Like, he puts smiley faces and things like that. I'm pretty sure there are Hollywood movies who like adopted that. And then I realized, wait a minute, this is based on something real. I'm guessing this is that. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, Electrician can talk about topics like that on Fat Files type of channel. Because I'm pretty sure his original channel is like mostly like history, military / history type of way. But yeah, this feels like so Electrician type of way, right? The way he tells you a story, builds you up, is like really interesting. But I don't know if like this mystery investigation type of thing is his style or not. But yeah, let's watch this one.
Do you know the Smiley Face Killers thing?
Yes,
you ever
I've heard of it. I can't remember exactly
It's a really,
what it was.
like, that is so... First off, where'd that serial killer's name come from?
It was Kevin Gannon and Anthony Duarte. They are former New York City police detectives. And what they noticed was that there were all these young men, college-age men mostly, showing up dead in rivers. And they were always ruled to be accidental drownings as a result of alcohol intoxication, or with association with alcohol intoxication. And they identified a number of these. Yeah, they identified a number of these, and they're like, I don't know if these are accidents. Now, I personally, after looking at, I think we've looked at, what, half a dozen of these
roughly
cases and clusters. I don't think that there's a broad connection nationwide. But when we were looking at the La Crosse, Wisconsin cases, it's like every single one of the people who, one of them survived. Every single one of these men, well, they picked 10, I picked 5. Every single one of the 5 I picked was same general age bracket, same intelligence. They were all, college educated. They were all athletic. They were, basically guys who, for the most part, you might consider to be like your typical like attractive male at that age.
And most importantly, can swim.
And they're like college dudes. They drink, and when you're saying like that one dude that's a .16, which we all function at a .16 any day of the fucking week. Yeah, that's just,
as Trout called it yesterday, a good bowling buzz.
But yeah, so what happens with each of these guys is, sometimes like Lady Bird Lake right now is kind of, surprisingly not as big as we thought it was when we were talking about it for our channel. But Lady Bird Lake, they've had all these bodies show up in the river, right? And they're different races, different sexes, different ages, probably not connected. These guys were all within the 20 to 25 age bracket, I think. They were all but one were single. They were all around the same height, all white, all had similar haircuts. And most importantly, all of them were drinking on the same strip of bars on 3rd Street the night they disappeared. And then 6 guys around our age turn up in the water. 5 of them didn't make it. They just, float up to the surface and they're found. And it turns out they were drinking on this one street. One of them survived. He went in the water in January of, I think it was 2006.
This is what's crazy about this story is this dude survived, and it's like, oh, I was drinking at 2 a.m.
Yeah, so he's basically, the way that it broke down is the last thing he remembered, I think, was 1:15 a.m., maybe 1:45 a.m., somewhere around there.
All right, seriously, man. First of all, when it comes to police, they take Occam's razor too seriously. And it makes sense when you really think about it, but it's also terrifying, right? These are kids, there is some alcohol in the system. This, like, probably they drank something, did something stupid, and drowned themselves. That's it, case closed. Let's not even think about it. Too many cases where they just case closed, you don't even think about any other possibilities and move on. Because, I don't know, they're probably overwhelmed with cases and things like that, who knows. But that's terrifying. First of all, in this case, only reason they pick up this thing, because there was so much similarities. What if there's no similarity? What if a serial killer suddenly decides to go random? How is he even going to get caught, right? Only silver lining there can be is usually serial killers, psychology is that they want to be found. So, but what if there is a functioning serial killer who like doesn't want to be found? Picks random things. and like cops like, oh, they're probably like random drowning. That is terrifying, right? Like how many unsolved cases might there be because people, either police just closed the case because they didn't realize or something like that. That is so effed up, right? But yeah, I mean 20 to 25. Now if you're somewhat intoxicated, if you're in teens, right, I understand like teens do stupid things. 20 to 25, okay, I get it, like not that old, but it's still like that much alcohol, like at that college level, I don't know, you can tolerate it, right? Maybe one of them could be like real drowning, but come on, all of them from same area, same bar, so yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it was, the bars were still technically open at that point, but he wasn't there.
He remembered dancing at a bar on 3rd Street, I think it was John's bar, and then the next thing he knew, he was swimming in the Mississippi. Like miles down the river.
So someone's roofing these men and then throwing them in the fucking river.
The first and last part, it seems like it. The second part doesn't seem to be, as far as anybody can tell, happening.
And that's the weird thing, because a couple of the towns that we've covered with this, it's like, okay, well, some of these it just seems like guys are getting pissed and then going to piss in the river and they don't come back.
Yeah.
Some of them it's like, no, there's something clearly weird going on here, but they're not quite connected. And then La Crosse is this weird outlier where it's like, no, there is a profile here, someone is following that, and someone was doing it for a set period of time.
About 8 years. Just, it goes from 1998 to 2006, and then it stops.
Jesus.
Which is great. And then they were finding like GB.
Yeah, so that was the thing. Well, that's the thing, is that they were testing, and I think one of them tested positive for GHB, but the rest didn't.
But there was no assault.
No,
they were just getting roofied and someone was throwing them in the fucking water.
Which is why, part of the reason why I looked at it and I went, I think that the culprit here is a woman.
Well, there's the one specific piece of evidence that...
And one of the guys, Luke Homan, when they found him, he had a weird pattern of bruising on his forehead that looked like a rather narrow toe line. Not like a cowboy boot, like a woman's boot.
High heel.
Not even like a high heel.
Not like the toe of the high heel. Like you're pointing.
Yeah, either a toe of a high heel or but definitely a woman's shoe. You know, is kind of what it looks like.
They were killed by cross-dressers.
This explains.
We found him.
This explains the lack of sexual assault.
You think like with the FBI profile, like someone was roofing them and then stomping on their heads and throwing them in the water.
I don't know about all of them with the stomping on the heads,
at least
but
one.
At least the one. What it seemed like, what we were tracking was these are all men who are, you know, conventionally attractive, both in terms of their looks and their background.
Well, that makes sense for it to be a woman.
Exactly. And they all go missing from the same strip of bars. None of them tell their friends they're even leaving. So it's like, that's the part that caught me first. I was like, the only reason that I would not tell my friends I'm leaving the bar in college would have been if I had met a girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, I'm saying, hey guys, I'm leaving, I'm going to this bar.
Yeah, you Irish goodbye with some girl. Yeah.
Exactly. Otherwise, I'm telling you, I'm going here, I'm going there. None of these guys told their friends they were leaving the bar.
I find that also kind of weird too, because you know you would have thought at that point at least one of them would have been like, and like they would have at least have somebody to go off of.
True.
But yeah, and you look at it and.
That is so true, man. I get it. Like, okay, I'm off. He wouldn't say that if he met a girl, but like, won't he boast even somewhat to at least one person? And yeah, when it comes to stereotypes, right? When it comes to women, people usually don't think of them as any like harmful entity like that. Woman serial killer, come on, like they're just like, it's probably a man. So it's much easier if a woman serial killer is there to like pass through the cracks or something. But obviously, if the evidence piles up, like people are going, okay, this is probably the case, right? But yeah, I mean, but then again, one guy having this kind of a heel shape on the head is not enough. It's just one guy. Could be the one instance different. And I don't know. I mean, there was not much of evidence after this. Like, nobody was caught, nobody was questioned. It just went cold or something, because at that point, you just end with speculation, right? Like, you can only guess after that one.
Unless she wasn't attractive, in which case that makes perfect sense.
So what I think
that's probably
how deep was that female foot imprint?
Yeah. Good God. I found
narrow toe line, fat shoe.
Very.
I found a study on GHB and how fast it exits the body, and it turns out that within 3 hours, it's usually present. It's almost always present. 3 to 6 hours, I think it was what 12.5% of people.
Yeah, it was like, I think it got to the point where within that window, it was like 80% of people generally was out of their system.
No, it was 80% of people was in. Yeah, it was, so After 3 to 6 hours,
sorry, I'm
it's,
6
you're
to 12,
fine.
my bad.
Yeah, 3 to 6 hours, it was 12.5% of people. So 1 in 8 people will have cleared GHB from their system within 6 hours, possibly within 3 hours.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You get into the 6 to 12 hour range, 86.5% of people have cleared all of the GHB out of their system with the, the standard dose of GHB. So with most of the cases, it's a little hard to tell. With specifically, because there's no like known endogenous GHB level, you produce it internally, like naturally. There's no predetermined level. With Colin Fortney, the survivor, they tested him for GHB, but as far as everything broke down, he disappeared at 1:15, went into the water within the hour based on, like when he disappeared, and then he got out of the water around 7 a.m. He has to have gone into the water January. Keep in mind, January in Wisconsin. He has to.
It's fucking 20 degrees.
He got out of the water at 6:30 a.m., walked into a hospital at 7 a.m. He cannot have gone into that water.
All right, to me, I don't know, man. If everything like this is happening around bars, right? How is this woman, right? This is a woman, sure. How is this woman drugging them and like throwing them in the water without anybody seeing anything, right? Like it's a bar, right? It's not that like secluded or something. Somebody would have seen something. If they are drugged out, they must be like passing out or something. So she has to grab them and like throw them in the lake and everything. Like nobody's seeing that. I mean, sure, like she could play off like, oh, wait a minute, my boyfriend is drunk, I'm taking him home type of way, so nobody would like pay attention too much. I don't know.
Anytime before 6 a.m. and survived.
Because you said how long it takes for in that water.
15 minutes.
15 minutes, hypothermia or dead. Like
You said he
shock,
went-
close down.
But you said he went into the water an hour after?
That's what the
Allegedly?
police seem to think.
Well, that's the thing is like, so I've been in lake water in Pennsylvania in December.
Your body locks up.
Well, that's the thing. I was wearing a wetsuit because I was acting in a short film that I was doing, and I had a wetsuit on under my clothes. I was in the water for maybe 60 to 90 seconds. I got out after the take to go into the like yurt that we had there. I couldn't unbutton my shirt because my hands were physically so cold they didn't have enough grip strength to get the button off. It's like, and that was with a wetsuit on.
Yeah.
So I don't even understand how, like, with 15 minutes in the water.
Yeah, basically what has to have happened.
Okay, if the water is that cold, 15 minutes too long. Like by that point, you're screwed, right? Like people take, ice water dips, basically like that, really cold lakes and things for like half a minute or something, just to like, shock their body in that way. How athletes take an ice bath. 15 minutes, that's insane, right? I'm pretty sure like there is this saying like if water is that cold, water is usually going to be colder than the ice itself because there's salt in the water or something. I don't know. Now wait a minute, there won't be salt in this one. I don't know. I'm pretty sure there was the case in there was a Top Gear episode I saw where they went to like North Pole or something. That was the case there. I don't know if it applies here or not, but yeah, you have to roll in ice just to get warmer from the water. So I don't know, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't apply here, right? That's not going to be salt in that. It's a lake. But still, like, the water's going to be so cold, you're probably screwed at that point.
And he cannot have gone into that water before, I think it was 6 a.m., and he cannot have survived. If he had just gotten out of the water and laid there and passed out for several hours, he wouldn't have survived that either, because he wouldn't have dried. It would have been too cold. He would have frozen to death. So he cannot have gone into that water anytime after 6 a.m., and yet the police are like, oh, no, yeah, he probably just went into the water sometime after leaving the bar, went to take a piss, fell in, passed out on the rocks, woke up with the sun, and walked into the hospital.
No, he got drugged, and someone held him captive for a couple hours.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, and then he took him down to the water and fucking threw him in.
Broken belt loops.
Yeah, that was on Luke Homan. He had broken belt loops, no reason.
Legitimate question. The substance GHB?
GHB.
Does it cause ED?
I don't think it does.
Well, what then I think we have our answer.
What it does cause is the exact same behaviors and feelings as being drunk. So anybody who's on GHB will just appear to be drunk.
To an extent.
Maybe really drunk.
Yeah.
It's like shit wrecked. It's like Kevin Burdenham.
But sometimes if you got too much of it or you drink too much while on it, you're going to end up in a position where maybe you're irritable. You know, nobody's going to be able to tell that you've been drugged. And one of the things that it does is, on the off chance somebody does survive, you don't get your memory back from that time.
Yeah.
It makes you black out.
And he woke up in the water.
He woke up in the water. Imagine
that, dude. That is a fucking night when you're just like, oh man, I just want to dance tonight. This bitch is hot. You're like, shit. What the f happened? Now you're swimming in cold ass water, and you're like, I'm dying. I'm gonna run to the emergency rooms.
Yeah.
Thankfully, which was
Gunderson Lutheran Medical Center. Yeah.
Fucking insane.
Your memory is incredible for the record.
Dude, I love it. That's his tism.
Yeah, look, I think medically, only way that can happen is if your levels are much higher, like you're drunk and the GHB is also high, because otherwise the shock from the cold would be like hard to, like, you know, just shock you out. So blackout won't be that long, but if blackout is that long, which means your levels are much higher, right? But if that's a dangerous territory, if it's too higher, right, like you could like, you know, let's just say in a position where you never wake up, right, equivalent to something like serotonin syndrome type of way. If it's too much, like alcohol could like boost this thing much higher depending how much you drank alcohol. But then again, like they said, like only one guy survived, that drowned. So like even if that happened, like she was gonna throw them in the lake to drown anyway, so it doesn't matter type of way. But yeah, I guess the one guy got lucky.
It is.
This is my new biggest fear.
This is why I have a history degree.
No, the only reason our channel is as successful as it is.
No, we always joke about the famous Reddit creepypasta about the lamp. The lamp that was flat. We always joke about like that being us in real life ever since blowing up on YouTube and this whole job and our whole lives.
You think YouTube and podcasting is a job?
We're all gonna wake up.
Wait a minute, lamp? What is that? What is he talking about? Comment down. What lamp?
In the middle of the Mississippi River trying to swim is my new fear. It's not the lamp anymore.
Yeah. Oh God.
It's that moment, and then I wake up in the Mississippi. I was like, oh no.
Oh shit! Wait, I am cold. Oh no.
I'm north of the Mason-Dixon. How did this happen?
I'm gonna wake up at age 16 next to Bryson's parents' car after hitting my head on the tire playing Manhunt.
No, God.
I did say this morning, I said if I could go back to being 16, knowing everything I know now, I'd be tempted to take it. Like,
oh, I would absolutely do it.
Invest in Bitcoin. Invest in Bitcoin.
What's that?
I said, what was the Count Ankula quote about foreshadowing?
On the business, we call this foreshadowing. Oh, I do that any day of the week. Fuck yeah.
So, he just this entire, and it was the smiley face killer.
Yeah.
But, and then it stopped in 2006, 2004.
2006.
And
Luke Homan, I believe, is the last one I identified as having a similar profile to the rest of them.
Well, yeah, run through why you picked the 5 and not the 10.
Sure. So there were 10 people originally that I looked at, and 5 of them, one was like 5'6" and pretty overweight. The rest of them were like 5'8" to 6'2" and athletic. So didn't really fit the profile.
Imagine being discarded and told you're not a victim because you're fat.
Yeah.
I didn't say it like that.
So here we go.
I didn't say it like that.
That's dope.
To be fair.
You just play Tinder. You're like,
I mean, to be fair, they wouldn't know, right? And it's like one advantage of being fat, I guess. Like you survived. There you go.
not fucking him. These ones though.
Yeah, you literally would look. You looked through the 10. We're like, these 5.
You swiped right, and on one you were like, eh. And then you were at 5'8", and you're like, eh.
You got to live.
Not how murder kill is supposed to be played.
I remember the Family Guy episode, right? Like where some sniper is taking out random people, and Peter is there like, yay! And the sniper doesn't kill him and kills somebody else, and then Peter goes to the dead body and kicks him like, I want to be that, and just like disappointed walk away. This is what it feels like.
Too much
murder, kill. What game did you play?
You never heard of that game?
Mary, kill.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Mick plays a different version. Murder.
Oh no.
Kill sounds like a metal band.
Murder kills that hardcore metal band.
I've been drinking in the sun, okay?
Were you by chance in
That's their
lacrosse?
first single.
I've been drinking in the sun and simulating shooting people in the head all day. This is
Yeah, it's not even about choosing from the 3 people. He thinks it's like act 1 by 1. First you murder.
having an off day.
Fucking lacrosse, dude.
But yeah, I want to
let's
know.
go to
'cause, like,
this.
what's your deal with lacrosse?
So a lot of my content that I make on my channel, which of course is another metal band name, Murder Content, comes out of La Crosse, Wisconsin.
I've heard.
It's like the PvP server of America. It's seriously a GTA 5 server. Like, it's fucking wild how much content I get out of there, dude.
Noah the T-Rex.
Yeah, Noah the T-Rex. Like, there's just so much meth and no fathers in La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Oh my god.
Like, I get so many videos out of that one goddamn city.
Who's
it's
Noah
wild.
the T-Rex?
You never seen Noah the T-Rex?
Wait, is it Noah the kid that always gets arrested?
Yeah, that always gets arrested and screams. I've made like 6
I know
videos
which one
on
you're talking about now.
this little piece of shit.
Has anybody here ever been drinking it in the state of Wisconsin?
No.
We should go.
We should all go to La Crosse.
No,
We
I
should
mean,
go
not
to
even
La
La Crosse.
Crosse.
Just literally anywhere in Wisconsin is so much fun to drink.
We need to do a survival video in La Crosse.
Oh,
do
we die.
24 hours in La Crosse.
No,
If I see Noah, I'm gonna.
No, man, you are all too famous and too rich to do that. Okay, La Crosse is just one town or city that is like that much thing is going on there. Like, that's insane.
Beat the shit out of this kid. And be like, oh, you never had a dad before. You're about to fucking learn. I'm gonna take my belt off and everything, dude.
Wisconsin has these crazy laws where you can just open up a bar like in your garage or in your basement.
Oh.
So there's like, you'll drive through small towns and it'll be like bar, and it's just like some dude's house, and in his garage he has a bar, and you can just like go drink with random people like at their house bar. It's cool as shit.
This is explaining a lot of
gang
your
does
I love
Wisconsin.
this.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know why. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, I don't know. After all this smiley face killer talk, I'm like, isn't that risky? I mean, come on, man. America people have guns, right? I mean, yeah, guns can have like positive, negative thing both, right? You go to bar, nobody's around, and suddenly pulls out a gun, and like, who knows what kind of people might be there, right? Like, I'm not saying like 99.9 is going to be fine, but what if you're unlucky and that 0.01% is the one you found? That's risky shit.
I'm also realizing
Wisconsin.
this is potentially why there's 5 missing people.
And also potentially why you have so much La Crosse content.
Oh, they had like 5-cent beer night the night Luke Homan went missing.
I remember.
They're the best.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, this is insane, man. The whole serial killer thing, like I said, is insane, right? Especially when it comes to cops filing a report and things like that, because cops do usually like try to think of the usual contenders. Like, he probably was drunk and drowned. Now there is a chance that might not be that. So just thinking about that, how many crime happens and how many cases of them must have been some kind of like a serial killer or some foul play that cops just didn't realize and just like went and saw. How many of them there must be there, and like how many serial killer must be out there who are like functioning and doesn't want to be found and just doing their thing, right? That must be like much higher number. But yeah, smiley face killer. So I'm guessing Law Lodge and everybody thinks that that's a woman, I guess, and like 20 to 25 age. White male, same type of way, same age, same height. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Same place, usually hang around the same area, so same place. So yeah, kind of makes sense. And like found just a drug, so like, oh, he was drunk type of way. That's insane. And this stopped 2006, so it's an unsolved thing, is it? How many serial killer or assumed serial killer cases out there that are unsolved? I mean, really. However, that was the mystery of the smiley face killer featuring Lord Lodge and the Federation by channel unsubscribe clips. If you like my next video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.